you can keep improving your conversion rates. How do you convert in a workshop? So that's why I said it's best to be able to see your business on a spreadsheet and you know exactly what you need to do every month to create the money you want.
Hey, I'm Tine, your pivot and pay strategist. I help Black women double their income by leveraging their existing skills. I am all about getting Black women paid, whether you're an employee or a business owner. And you're listening to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. Let's go. Hello, and welcome to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. I'm your host, Tine Zekas, international speaker, award-winning author, the founder and CEO of Getting Black Women Paid, and your Audacity coach. I am so excited for today's episode. We have an incredible guest who is changing the lives of women entrepreneurs, and I cannot wait for you to meet her. I'm going to tell you a little about her, and then we're going to get right into it. So today's guest is Joy Rowland, a profitability coach for women entrepreneurs who are done playing small and ready to start getting paid for real. Joy helps coaches, consultants, and service providers simplify their business, attract premium clients, and hit consistent 10K plus months without burnout, sleazy sales tactics, or second guessing every move. She's all about helping women overcome imposter syndrome, perfectionism, and fear of selling by mastering what she calls their business formula, a simple, repeatable path to profit that actually feels good. Y'all, this is the kind of conversation that will have you closing your laptop early and rethinking your whole business model. Let's get into it. Well, Joy, first of all, I just want to thank you so much for being here with us today.
Oh my gosh, it's such a joy being on your podcast. I know we're talking before you hit the record button. I've been binging on your YouTube videos and I feel like I know you. Like that's the beauty of YouTube, right? So it's such a joy being on your podcast.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad we're finally getting to meet. Well, so I want to start. I always like to start with a bit of a, your origin story. So, you're out here helping women create 10K plus months, but I know it didn't start there. So, can you take us back to when you were downplaying your gifts and what shifted?
Yes, absolutely. My desire to help people make lots and lots of money came from my own struggle. So my own
Mm.
struggle growing up, like many people, I had a difficult childhood. Poverty was top of the list.
Yeah.
And so I just desired to figure out money. I remember asking my mom, how come those people live on in big houses and we don't get to live in big houses? As a kid, it just didn't click for me. I'm like, why do we struggle to eat when
Yeah.
other people are not struggling to eat? So my fascination with money started at that early age. So I was born and bred in sub-Saharan Africa in Nigeria, northern Nigeria. And so um it was so difficult growing up and I had the desire if I can just go to a foreign country, I can help my family out of poverty. So that was my desire. So at the age of 25, I left my home country to the UK to study. And well, when I left, I couldn't speak English because the part of Nigeria I grew up in, we don't speak English. I grew up in the northern part.
Oh,
And so I
wow.
had to learn English at the age of 25. I had to overcome all of my imposter syndrome. So you can imagine someone who doesn't speak English, a Black woman in the center of London, trying to, okay, I had paid half my tuition to get into university. And so my goal was to work and pay off because as an immigrant, you don't get student loans. Unlike if you were born in the US or Canada or the
Right.
UK, you get student loans. But as an immigrant, zero, right?
Mm.
So I went through all of those struggles and I just had this vision in my heart. I want to figure out money. I want to make lots and lots of money. And so my journey has brought me here today. I have over 20 years experience in IT consulting. I left corporate and decided to start my own business because I just wanted to feel like I can have more impact in the world. And so my journey has led me here today. And now I help women step up the same way I did. I teach them how to overcome all of our limiting beliefs to make as much money as we want.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Um, I don't know if you saw the surprise in my face 'cause, my dad is from Nigeria, and I'm always thinking the default is English, right? Because he's from, closer to Lagos, and so I haven't met someone who grew up in the North and, had to kind of start over in terms of language and things, as you went on to pursue your goals. But I love that you talk about imposter syndrome and overcoming that, and that you've now circled back to help other women do the same thing. That's just incredible. Um, and you talk about moving from like survival mode, right? As you said, living in poverty into that space of overflow. And so
Hmm.
I'm wondering, what did it look like in your own life? Um, what was the mindset that had to leave so that money could start flowing in?
Yeah, so for me, it was visualization. So
Mm,
at first it was survival mode, right? I needed to pay the bills. I needed to pay off my student, like pay off my fees. I
yeah,
needed to send money back home. So even as a student then, I still needed to care for my family, right?
yeah.
So it was in that mode of just to make ends meet. But from survival, I'm like, is it possible to live in overflow? And like you said, it had to be the mindset shift first,
Yeah.
right? Because my motto in life is be, do, then you have. You have to become first mentally in your mind before you do the actions and before you have. I see many people jump the be part to do. And that's why so many people hustle, because if you do not become that person mentally,
Mm,
you will do the actions, but the actions will be from a place of hustle. And you don't create wealth from a place of hustle. You might
right.
have a few $1,000s, but it will be from a place of stress and efforting. So I knew I had to become. So at that point, I was like binging on personal development stuff. And then bumped into coaching and I discovered the power of coaching, the power of visualization. So
Mm,
every day before I go to bed, I will visualize my future. What's that vision I want for myself? And that's one of the things I recommend people do. Paint the picture, be very specific. What do you want life to look like? How much do you want to earn? And when I discovered that our minds cannot differentiate between reality and fiction,
mhm.
I started to install the fiction in my mind. And so through repetition, I became that person. And so when I became that person, opportunities started to flow and I took the actions and I'm where I am today. So moving from survival to abundance had to do first with me becoming that person first in my mind. And it takes some work. And not
Mhm.
many people are willing to go deep inside because they're afraid of what will come out, right? So people have to be comfortable going into that part of our mind to uncover all of our limiting beliefs so they can overcome and step into the future they desire.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that when you talk about be, do, have. You're absolutely right. We so many of us, the first step is do, right? Let me jump in, let me do this, let me do that. I'm gonna take this course, I'm gonna try that thing. And that inner work is really the first step. So I love how you laid that out and that you talk about becoming that person first. That's fantastic. What a great mindset. And kind of building off of that mindset work, imposter syndrome, perfectionism, the fear of actually being seen, you
Mhm.
know, um, I guess what's a mindset tool that that you use or that you encourage in your clients when those feelings try to block you from claiming what's yours?
Yes. Thank you so much for that question. Here's the thing, the feeling may never go away. The feeling of being an imposter may never go away. In fact, I was one of the speakers in a conference called Beyond Patient Care Conference. And
Mhm.
one of the co-speakers was Dr. Janenga. She founded WebPT, and she's making well over $5.5 million every year. And she said to us that she still feels imposter syndrome. And I'm
Yep.
like, how can a woman making well over $5.5 million every year still feel imposter syndrome? So I see so many people trying to resolve the imposter syndrome first before taking the step. So my coach,
Mm.
Ubu Castillo, says, let's bring the imposter syndrome along. Don't try to resolve it, just bring it along. And as you build your faith, you see that the power of the imposter syndrome, the critic in our minds, it starts to fade. So
Mm.
instead of focusing on trying to silence the imposter syndrome, I say be on the in the driver's seat in the bus. Let the imposter syndrome be the passenger, and you just track the course of your life with full faith in yourself, full faith in the possibility of the future, and then the imposter syndrome starts to diminish.
Oh, I love that. I love that image of you're in the driver's seat, right? The imposter syndrome can come along, but you're still making the moves even though that's there. And as you keep doing those things, that's how you diminish its power
Yeah.
over you. Oh, I love that so much. And and I think of something similar when I think about, mental health concerns, right?
Mhm.
Someone who has depression or anxiety, it's like you're not going to check a box and move on from that. You may always have depression. It can come alongside you, but you're building the tools, you're recognizing the signs, you're building the strategies. So I love how you paint that picture for us. That's fantastic.
Thank
Um,
you. And
oh,
as
go ahead.
someone who's dealt with depression in the past, I know how it feels,
Mhm.
right? So I had gone through three horrible miscarriages, and then I had my daughter, and like this was the child I've prayed for so long. It's been my desire to have a child, and she came finally. And I was struggling with all of these mental struggles in my head, like the bad thoughts. I'll be upstairs and that voice will say, what would happen if you dropped your baby down the stairs?
Right.
And I'm like, that's not a good thought to have. So I spoke to my husband at the time, and then I went to my doctor, and then he said it was I was clinically depressed and he was going to put me on SSRIs. And I had seen the effect of antidepressants on my husband. He had gone through his own struggles and it wasn't great.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think SSRIs are the answer for me. And so I went on this quest to kind of heal myself. So I was searching for modalities online, and I just thank God I'm where I am now. I feel better and I feel like I've been cured, thank God. And so I always see this to encourage people. If you are in that place where you are struggling and you're like, will I ever feel better? I want you to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel as long as you
Mhm.
decide and you search for your own path, because everyone's path is different. Because for some people, antidepressants will be the way forward. If that's the case, then get the help so that you can heal faster. So I just wanted to encourage people. I know many people struggle with that, but as a society, we are not very good at speaking up and
Yes.
like discussing our struggles, because on Instagram is all the best poses, right?
Right.
Right? So I just want to encourage people to say, um, there is, and I think there is a reason why God allows us to struggle. It's just to build us to become better, right?
Mhm.
When I was struggling with depression, I couldn't have seen any reason why God allowed me to go through. But now, seeing the women I help in my program, many of them struggle, maybe not depression, but they struggle with anxiety and thoughts about the future. I'm
Yeah.
able to help them based off of my own experience. So I just want to encourage people that there's a reason why you're going through is just to make you stronger and you will come out at the end.
Oh, thank you so much for being vulnerable with us and sharing that. Um, I am one of those people that, antidepressants did work for, so
Mm.
I'm glad you touched on, right, it's not the same path for everyone, but whatever path you choose, you do want to do the work of, um, whatever can help you heal, so I'm
Yes.
so glad you shared that with us, and this is the reminder to everyone listening, if you are struggling, please
Yeah.
get help.
Yes.
Uh, I do want to, oh, that's so I'm like we could talk about mental well-being for the rest of the episode, but I really want to get to your business formula.
Mm.
You have this concept, the business formula, and so I'm wondering, what is it? And how does it help women go from that like hustle mentality to actual income?
Yes. Thank you so much for that question. Now, the business formula will be different for different people. And so the first thing I do with my clients is identify the actions you take in your business to create results. So, say, for example, a client's goal is $50,000 per month. I look and I say, what actions do you need to take in your business to make $50,000 per month? And I want this to be as mathematically accurate as possible. So my background is in computer science. And so I like to look at a spreadsheet and be able to see someone's business on the spreadsheet and say, I can predict 2 months from now, this is how much you'll be creating. One of the ways I do this is using live events. And that's how we can accurately predict. And that's the 10K month calculator based off of industry average. How many events do you need to host to create 50K? So there's a mathematical formula, and I'm giving that away for free. And this is where imposter syndrome comes in. Many people prefer to be behind faceless reels on Instagram. They don't want to show their faces, right? But if you want to sign high ticket clients, you need to be able to host workshops, masterclasses, webinars where you give incredible value and then make an offer for people to come work with you.
Mhm.
So that's the business formula I help my clients create. And I teach for people to do this once a month. So once a month, how many people do you need to be registered for your event? How many people do you need to attend your event to have your conversion rate? So as you do the events in your calculator, you're going to start tracking your numbers. And then when you have your numbers on the spreadsheet, you can say, in 2 months' time, if I keep up with my rates, I'm going to get to 50K per month. And here's the beauty, you can keep improving your conversion rates. How do you convert in a workshop? So that's why I said it's best to be able to see your business on a spreadsheet and you know exactly what you need to do every month to create the money you want.
Oh, girl, you are speaking my language. I love a good spreadsheet and the idea of really having that predictable, aspect in your business, right? Being able to say, "Okay, now the more often I do this, the more I can put in my numbers and get even more accurate predictions of, what do I need to do next month and the following month to get to those goals." I love that. And, yes, and folks, Joy mentioned this, 10K months calculator. We are going to, we'll talk about that again a little later, but we're going to provide the link to that in the show notes as well. Um, oh, I love, I'm nerding out because I do love a good spreadsheet.
Yeah, me
But so, I'm thinking about just sort of the idea of I'm still kind of focused on this hustle piece of things, right? Because, as you described that, it did sound simple, right? Have the events, try to get X number of people to get Y number of conversions, etc. But, so many of us feel like we're doing too little. We're running our
too.
businesses. We always feel like we're not doing enough. But I know that you've said that we're actually doing too much of the wrong stuff. And so I'm wondering, what do you see women entrepreneurs doing, or what are we wasting our time and energy on, and where should we be focused instead?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. So, in my experience, having worked with hundreds of women, many people spend so much time on Canva designing things, um, designing posts, posting on Instagram. Someone came to me the other day and she goes, I post every day on Instagram. And I go on her Instagram, there was no live, like there was no Instagram live, right? She was just
Mhm.
posting quotes and helpful tips, right? So I see so many people wasting time doing those. And I always like to emphasize for people to focus on income generating activities. And I joke with my clients and I say the time you are closest to closing a sale is when your lips are moving, right? When your mouth is moving. So if you are behind your computer and you are designing things, in fact, you're designing your logo, you're creating a website, you're designing landing pages, you're designing funnels,
Yep.
that's not going to get you the clients. Now, don't get me wrong, those things are good to have. But if you want to close clients, and this is how I'm so blessed, there was a month I did 25K back to back, and now my target is 50K. I want to go 50K months.
Yes.
The way I've been able to create this is by running live workshops every single month. And now I close live on the workshop. People pay me live on the calls. Like I don't then have to do discovery calls. Now I'm not suggesting that people do that, especially if you're starting. It's
Sure.
best for you to ask them to come on a discovery call. But ultimately, you want to be able to close one to many, especially if you want a scalable business, right? If your goal is multiple six figures and seven figures, you need to learn the skill of selling one to many. And
Mm.
so I always say the yardstick for you to know is if you're spending time on a task in your business, ask yourself, is this moving me closer to opening my mouth to speaking to somebody? If it
Mm.
is, then that's an income generating activity.
Oh, I love that. Because yeah, we talk about those income generating activities, but we don't always say, "What is it? How do I know if that's what it is?" But I love that gauge, right? Is this getting me closer to speaking directly to someone or maybe to many someones, right? One to many.
Yes.
And I always wanna think about our listeners who are hearing this and are saying, "Girl, I don't even know where to start." Right? So, what would you say to someone who says, "Okay, I got the calculator. I see, I need this many people to come to my live events, but I don't even know how to put together a live event. Like, what should the topic be? Like, how do I approach that?" What I guess sort of what starting advice would you have for someone who says, I don't know what to present?
Yeah, that's a good place to be. If you don't know what to present, that's a good place to be. Hello, ChatGPT.
Yes.
Hello, ChatGPT. And this is how I encourage you to use ChatGPT. Program your ChatGPT first. So I build custom GPTs for all of my clients, programmed with their unique voice, how they speak, their income goals. So spend the time, program your GPT, describe your target audience to your GPT. Who's your ideal client avatar? Describe. I tell my clients to even name your GPT. So name your GPT and say my target audience. Her name is Kelly, for example, and picture Kelly so clearly in your mind that you're able to describe Kelly, which is your target avatar, to your ChatGPT.
Mhm.
Once you do that, then goes next step is your transformational offer because you need to have a compelling transformational offer. So this will be your backend offer. So I call this like your 6 month transformational offer that you can offer for 5K, 10K, 15K. Once you have that transformational offer programmed into your chat GPT, the next question you ask your GPT is, what is my target audience searching every day? What
Mm.
questions? is Kelly, who is your target audience, what she's searching for on YouTube. What answers is she seeking? Those will be your workshop titles. So your GPT will help you flesh out your workshop titles. It will also give you the content of your workshop. Also, you can use an app called Gamma app to do your entire slides, your compelling slides that will funnel into your offer. So, because I know many people have 9 to 5 jobs that they are doing alongside their businesses. So, always use all of these amazing tools we have. In fact, my last workshop, I used the Gamma app, and almost everyone that attended the workshop said, how did I have all of these amazing professional slides? Like it looked like something Beyonce would present. Like I
Mm,
was I was wowed myself, and
I
it was
love
done
that.
by the Gamma app. So use your custom GPT. I cannot tell you how my custom GPT has transformed my business. It's like night and day.
Mm. Oh, I love that so much. And I love that you didn't just say, what kinds of problems is Kelly facing, but what is she searching for, right? Because a lot of times we know some of the challenges our clients have or our target audience has, but that's not top of mind to them, right?
Mm,
I can help you with imposter syndrome, but that's not the goal, right? You're saying, how do I get to 10K months? And
mm,
I know that part of that is imposter syndrome, right? But I'm not going to just say, here's an imposter syndrome webinar, right? It's no, here's how to get that 10K month, right? I love that you focus it on, what is she searching for? And yes, please use those tools, right? If we are not spending hours and hours in Canva,
mm,
because that is not a revenue generating task, you can outsource that to now all of these incredible AI tools that we have. So thank you so much for that suggestion too. I think I hope that's going to be a game changer for a lot of our listeners. Um, Before we wrap up, I do want to revisit that free gift one more time. So if you can tell us again about what the 10K months calculator is, and then we'll make sure we provide the link in the show notes.
yeah. So the 10K month calculator is telling you what you need to do to get to 10K months consistently. So on it, if you when you open the spreadsheet, in fact, I have a video walkthrough that goes along with the spreadsheet, so you know exactly how to use it. And so on the spreadsheet, you're gonna put in your figures. So for some people listening, let's say you've already exceeded 10K, your goal is to get to 50K. Just plug 50K into the spreadsheet, and there is a section for your price point. So let's say your offer is 5K, 10K, or 2K. You plug in your offer price in the spreadsheet, and it will tell you if you want to hit your goal, this is the number of people you need in your workshop per month, right?
Mm,
So we've used industry averages to say what's the conversion from number of people in the workshop to the number of people that need to say yes to your offer to make that sale, to make the
mhm,
goal you have for the month. However, here's the beauty. As you keep doing your live events, you're going to keep plugging in your numbers so that those numbers reflect your conversion rate. So, for example, if you were starting your live event, maybe you only convert 1 out of 10 people. So you have a 1 out of 10 conversion rate. But as you get better, your conversion rate will increase, and then you keep plugging in the numbers, and then you can see your business on a spreadsheet. So it's
mm.
super, super helpful, and it's a tool that motivates people. Like when you see those numbers and you're like, oh, 10K months is actually reachable. I can get to 10K months. And it fires you up. And before you know, you're taking the actions to get you there.
Oh, I love it, and I love that you do the video walkthrough as well. For anyone who was not nerding out the second you said spreadsheet, who was like, "I don't even wanna touch a spreadsheet," Joy's also got you with, a walkthrough on how to use this tool, so definitely check that out in the show notes. And Joy, I'm wondering, for folks who are just dying to hear more from you, how can folks find you?
Yes, I'm available on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. My website is joyrowland.com. But just shoot me a DM on any of those platforms and I'll be happy to get to know you because I love getting to know people, not just selling people straight away. I love to build connections and to hear people's stories and just to, get to know people. So don't be afraid to shoot me a DM.
Oh, I love that. So we'll have all those links in the notes as well. Don't be afraid to slide into Joy's DMs and get the conversation started. Thank you again so much for being with us. I hope that our listeners got as much out of this conversation as I did, and
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode of Getting Black Women Paid, and we will see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, make sure you like and subscribe. And remember to hit the notification bell so you can catch more episodes like this one. And join the conversation by leaving a comment below. Be sure to share this channel with the incredible Black women in your life so we can continue getting Black women paid. All right, we'll see you in the next one.